Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Uncultured Purls. This is Lucy. I'm here today with another knitting podcast. So I'm going to update you on two finished objects that I have and one whip. And so if you like to knit, if you like hearing about other people's knitting, you are in the right place. Today is Sunday, September 17th, 2023. It's starting to feel like fall a little bit here in Richmond, Virginia. Definitely not cold yet, but it's not brutally hot like it has been. So I'm starting to get a little bit excited for, pumpkin spice time, all of that jazz. I'm definitely a fall person. So I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. And we all know what comes in October, right? It's the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. So I will be talking about that later in the podcast. So if you're planning to participate, stick around. We can knit that bad boy together. And yeah, I'm excited for the future. Lots of exciting things happening. So if you're not subscribed, please do think about subscribing. No pressure, but certainly the more the merrier in my little Uncultured Purls family. So if you are into knitting podcasts, please think about hitting subscribe and of course the like button on this video if you do like the content. So let's get started with my first whip that I completed chronologically. And this is a pair of socks. Here they are. Again, I do not own sock blockers, so sorry this is not the most attractive reveal that I could make. But it is these lovely green, almost camo type of socks. There's number one. And, I tried to make them exactly the same, so hopefully they look the same. There's number two. And this pattern is, I'm just checking my cheat sheet here. This is the Vanilla Socks by Crazy Sock Lady, which I have knit before, but sometimes it's nice to just knit a sock pattern that you're familiar with and nothing comes as a surprise. So, it was very easy and satisfying to make these again. I made the size small for these. And the yarn that I used was by Zen Yarn Garden, and it was the colorway Acrobat. So there it is again. It's this really nice green, variegated, like almost self-striping, but not normal self-striping. The yarn itself is 90% superfine, super wash merino, and then 10% nylon. And so I haven't really worn these around yet. Like I tried them on to test the fit, which is good, but I have not seen how they actually wear in terms of like getting holes in them, etc. And looking at this, I might have made the foot a little bit short, but they fit okay. And I like to have some negative ease with my socks. I feel like they fit better that way. So these will be good. I'm excited to wear these with boots now that we're getting into that time of year. I think these will be really nice and comfortable and hopefully durable since they are superwash with nylon. And yeah, I'll show you how much yarn I have left over. It is this cute little guy. So this is gonna go in my stash to eventually make probably a penguono with this. The crazy funky Stephen West sweater. Someday, probably in a couple years, I do want to cast on a penguono, so I'm saving up all my fingering weight scraps to go into that. So this will get added. And that is FO number 1. FO number 2 is a gift for my mom. And my mom watches the channel, so Mom, if you want to be surprised about your gift, which I do plan to still give you for Christmas, then you might want to not watch this part. But then again, if you don't care and you're fine with getting a little spoiler, then feel free to keep watching. My mom already knows that I'm making this for her, so it's not a total surprise. She just hasn't seen the finished object yet. So Mom, now's your chance. Click away, here it comes. This is the striped triangle garter wrap by Purl Soho. And it's really huge. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, I cannot fit it at all in the frame. Look how giant. There's one corner. And we go all the way to the other corner. And so this is, it's a free pattern by Purl Soho. I bought one of the kits. Really, it's like a color combination that they put together for you. So I chose the one that's called Garden Snail. And the 3 colors that are in it are periwinkle gray. Oh, and this is in their good wool base, which is 100% Andean Highland wool. Color number 1 is periwinkle gray, and that is this color. And this is all solid right here of the periwinkle gray. Then the second color is wild heath, and you can see it right here, but it's striped with the periwinkle gray. So this is not like the true color that the wild heath looks like. You can like barely see it, but it's stripes with the gray in here, but it's this really nice purple color is the wild heath. And then the last color is called Blue Moon. And it is this gray color here at the edge. So it's a really cool construction for this shawl. It's super easy, very zen. You just kind of get into garter mode and you don't have to think about it too much. And it is a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. You start here at the corner and you're knitting across. So it starts really tiny with just this little corner piece. In each row, you are increasing at the final stitch. So you're getting wider and wider and wider. And once you finish that first color section, you start striping with the next color. So you needed 2 skeins of this first color and then just 1 skein of the other 2. But yeah, then you start striping, and it's really easy striping because you don't have to cut the yarn each stripe. You just carry the other color with you along the edge. So there's not a lot of ends to weave in. You do that for a while, and then you cut the first color and you begin striping with the third color. So this little section right here, I am striping with the Wild Heath and Blue Moon. You do that for a while, and then you cut the Wild Heath and you just use your last color, which for me was the Blue Moon, and just knit that back and forth for a while. And it's very warm. I put it on a second ago. I'll put it on again just to show you. There's a few ways you can wear it, either like with the point down as this kind of massive scarf situation, kind of like that, which looks a little crazy with my summery lemon shirt, but whatever. Or of course you can do it more like a full-on shawl moment, you know, where you have the long part in the back and kind of drape over the arms, or do like that type of thing. I think my mom's gonna like it. I hope so. What's not to like? It's a squishy woolen thingy. I did block it. I did not like aggressively stretch it or anything. I just put it in warm water for like 10 minutes, then squeezed out as much as I could and rolled it up in a towel to just get as much water as I could out. And then I just laid it out. I don't have those fancy play mat type of things that seems like everyone uses to block stuff. I don't own those yet. Maybe someday I'll get them, but for now, I just use 2 yoga mats that I happen to have accumulated through my lifespan. I have these 2 yoga mats, so I laid those out and then I put towels on top of them, and then I laid this out on top of it, and it almost fit. The very corners were kind of hanging off the mat like this much, but it worked out fine. And I just tried to kind of straighten the lines. Like, you don't notice until you go to block something that all the lines of stitches kind of get wavy, especially when you've wet it and you put it down and you're trying to kind of form it into shape. So really all I did was try to like pat it and smush it a little bit to try to get the garter lines as straight as I could. And it's not perfect, but it really doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's that. Hopefully my mom likes it. Hopefully she's not allergic to it, because I do find like just wrapping this around me for a minute, it's kind of making me choked up. So I'm gonna have a drink of water. Maybe I need to wash it again with like a little bit of wool wash or really gentle soap. We'll see, or that kind of woolly scent might kind of fade in time. We'll see. So that is all my FOs. I also have 1 whip, so I will show that. Really, it's kind of a half finished object. So I'll show you the finished part. It's another sock, but it is a different sock, and oh no, I don't think I have the name of the pattern with me. That's annoying. I might have to just put it in the description. But here's finished sock number 1. I found this pattern on Ravelry by just searching ribbed socks. I wanted to try an easy and simple sock, but that had a ribbed leg. So this is 3x1 rib here. So you knit 3, purl 1 for the entire leg all the way around. And then you get to the heel and you do a stockinette heel flap. And then you do a little heel turn. Pretty standard and classic. And then you pick up for the gusset. And the gusset is all stockinette while you continue the rib on the instep portion. And that is the case all along the foot. So once you do the gusset decreases, you continue with the foot, and the bottom of the foot is just stockinette knitting, whereas the top you continue the pattern of the knit 3, purl 1. And then do your nice little decreases, and there's no Kitchener, which is nice. You just decrease down to like 4 stitches and then pull the yarn through all 4 and cinch it. And it turned out to be a very nice sock. Again, I put it on, but I have not actually worn it around, so no clue how this thing wears. I'll show you the one that I'm actively working on. The other sock. As you can see, I finished the leg, I finished the heel flap, heel turn, and I just finished my gusset decreases. And now I'm on the foot part, where I'm just knitting 1/2 and then working in pattern with the knit 3, purl 1 on the top half. What is this yarn called? It is by Dream in Color Yarns. Here's the remaining cake part. Dream in Color yarn. The colorway is Still I Rise, and it is 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon. It's really nice cream color with all of these purple speckles, which is nicely not uniform. Like, I like how you have really dark portions in some areas, and then like if you look at the gusset right there, that's pretty much all white. I kind of like that, you know, it's like very unique, and each project is going to look different depending on how many stitches are in the circumference. Probably would be a really cool looking hat if you used this yarn for that. And yeah, so that's my single whip. And not sure how much longer it's going to take me to do this, probably only a couple days, which is kind of problematic because I am planning to knit the Stephen West mystery knit along. He has announced it. It is called Geo Gradient. If any of you are excited about this and you're going to be knitting it, let me know in the comments and let me know what colors you're thinking of using. Are you ordering a kit from Stephen and Penelope, or are you gonna either use stash yarn or pick up your yarn somewhere else at a local yarn shop or order it from somewhere else? I'm curious. Let me know. I have not decided. At this point, I don't know if a kit would arrive in time for me to start if I ordered it from Stephen and Penelope. So I think what I'm gonna do is just go to a local yarn shop in my area and buy my colors myself, which means I'm gonna have to decide my colors, and that's gonna be tough. If any of you are familiar and are planning to do it yourself, you will know it's 4 colors. I held up 3 fingers, that was wrong. 4 colors. And you're supposed to choose colors that create a gradient from lightest to darkest. And you can either stick in one color family, like 4 shades of purple, or you can kind of blend colors like orange to red, or really I think like a gray to yellow would actually look really cool. I don't know. I'm feeling very indecisive. There's way too many possibilities. What I think I'm gonna do next week is go to my local yarn shop, look around, maybe take some pictures of options, and see what I can decide on. I also don't know if I want to do superwash or non-superwash. There's so many things to think about when you're trying to do a project. And it's tough. I feel like I get decision fatigue, you know? Like, sometimes I just want to knit it. I don't want to do the planning. I get that the planning is fun. You know, that's when the creativity really can shine through, because if you're choosing the colors, you are responsible for the way it turns out. And it's exciting, but it's pressure. Like, what if you regret the colors you choose? I don't know. But anyway, I guess I need to remind myself it's gonna be beautiful no matter what. Like, Stephen West patterns are so unique, so well thought out. Like, it's gonna be great. I need to not worry about it. I need to just choose what looks good, fully commit, and it's gonna be great. Oh yeah, so the reason I'm a little bummed that I'm gonna finish this so fast is I don't know if I want to start another project with the mystery knit along coming up so soon, because I'm only gonna have like a week, maybe 2 weeks before I am fully into this madness of the mystery knit along. So I could start another pair of socks, like that can very easily just hang out and wait for me to finish the MCAL. I don't know. I do have a crochet blanket that I've been working on for a long time that's kind of languishing. Maybe it's a good opportunity for me to do a few more rows on that. We'll see. I don't know. I guess I just have to make sure whatever I'm knitting, it's not the same needle size as the MCAL, because I only have one set of interchangeable needles. So if I'm using those needles for something else, I'm gonna be in trouble. So that's the one thing I definitely have to make sure that I am set on, so that I'm not using the needles that I'm gonna need to use. All right, I think that is everything to talk about in terms of knitting. The only other thing I want to talk about is books. So if you like reading, you like to hear people talk about books, then stick around. If you're over it, you're not into that, that's totally cool. Click off. Thank you for joining me thus far. But my book homies, let's get into that part. I actually have read a decent amount since the last time I filmed a podcast. So I have 4 books to talk about. So number 1, again, I'm going in chronological order of what I finished first. So number 1 was Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. And Joe Hill, if you don't know, he is the son of Stephen King. Kind of writes in the same general genre of like horror, creepy things, weird concepts. That's also what Joe Hill is into. So this book is about a haunted suit, like, you know, menswear suit that this old semi-washed up rock star, kind of picture like Ozzy Osbourne, but slightly less drug-addled, but pretty close. That's the main character, is this semi-washed up rock star guy. He ends up ordering this haunted suit off the internet, and it arrives. You know, he orders it not really thinking that it's legit. Turns out it is. So it's all about him and his hot young girlfriend trying to not be killed by this ghost. And there's more to the background of the story than that, but that's like a general synopsis, and I liked it. It was not a total page turner like I was hoping that it was gonna be. I like a book that like you're truly riveted, you gotta keep reading, you can't put it down. That's what gets me, and this wasn't quite like that, but I did enjoy it. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, maybe a 3 out of 5, I'm not sure. But I was glad to have read it. I was entertained. It was maybe a little bit longer than it needed to be, but overall, I did enjoy it. If you're into kind of creepy ghost stories, I think you probably would like this one. So after I read that, I wanted something completely different and short, because I am quite behind on my reading goals for the year. But whatever, have a lot of other things I like to do, so I'm not beating myself up about that. But I did want to read something short and easy. So what I read was Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech. This is one that I read back in 5th grade, I believe, which was circa 2001, 2002. It is a children's, like children to young adult. Is that what they call like middle grade? I don't know. It's probably you should be somewhere between like 11 and 14 is the target audience for this. But obviously grown-ups can read books in that zone. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more as an adult than I did as a child, to be honest. There's a lot of emotion in here. I did cry, not gonna lie to you. Generally, like a super brief 2-sentence synopsis, it's about this girl whose mother, trying to not give spoilers, this is like divulged to you very early. So her mother passed away in a bus accident, and it's about her coming to terms with that, kind of moving on. she goes on this road trip with her grandparents to visit where the bus crash happened. So there's kind of two storylines happening at the same time. It's the road trip with the grandparents, plus like this whole story about the main character, this girl, moving into this new house with her father and like going to school and meeting new friends and all of this stuff going on with the friend simultaneously to this road trip. And it's cleverly written. It really hits you in the feels, particularly at the end. And it was quick to read. It's like 300, 250-ish pages. And yeah, there's a reason it has the, what is this? Newbery? Yeah, the Newbery medal. It's well deserved. It's a good one. So after that one, I decided to read Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. And first off, this has nothing to do with like the content of the book, but like, check this out, okay? Here's, the words are normal. There's this one section in here where the words turn upside down. Like, this is upside down, okay? Normal, upside down. And it's totally just a defect in this particular book. And that was annoying. But it turns out the pages that are upside down, once you get to the end of them, those same pages are still in the book right side up. So it's like a chunk of papers accidentally made its way into the machine upside down, in addition to the ones that are already in there right side up. I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the point. This one was okay. I was not blown away. Essentially, it's Harry Potter fan fiction, but if Harry and Draco have a relationship, like, not really even a relationship. Basically, they have a crush on each other. Eventually, there's some degree of romance. But the plot is very much Harry Potter based, and she did it on purpose. Like, it's supposed to be some degree of like satire or parody. For me, it didn't quite work, and the romance wasn't enough. Like, there's not even any mention of attraction between these two characters until like almost page 200. And I'm like, what is the point, really? If it's supposed to be this male Harry Potter like romance, we need the romance, you know? So I don't know. I'm glad I read it. It was somewhat entertaining, not a favorite of mine, but some people I think would really like this. Maybe you're one of them. It just didn't quite do it for me. And then the last one is what I'm currently reading. This is The Institute by Stephen King. This is a pretty recent one. I think it came out in 2019. So far, it is about a kid, a genius kid, who has telekinetic mind powers and is abducted by possibly the government. You're not quite sure who these people are who abducted him, but they're doing experiments of some sort on him and other kids that have the same type of mind powers. And that's all I know so far. I'm only like 150 pages in. It's a pretty hefty boy, so still a lot for me to read. But I like it. It's kind of classic Stephen King, where there's kid friendships are happening, plus there's an adult storyline of like kind of the loner who maybe has made some bad choices and is figuring his life out. And I'm assuming they're gonna converge at some point, just hasn't happened yet. So we'll see. Gotta keep reading. I'm predicting it's gonna be one that I like. There you have it, folks. I think that's all I have to talk about. I hope you all have had a good week. And yeah, I won't take up more of your time. Again, if you are doing the Stephen West MCAL, leave me a comment. What are your plans? I'd love to know. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. Take care.